Hello there everyone, it's B, and today in my plan I certainly had a different video that I wanted to film, but waking up to today's news really shook me, and it was honestly hard to believe that something like that could have even happened, and everyone knows what I'm talking about. So really the only thing that was on my mind was to make this video that I have been wanting to do for around a year already, actually, since the Paris terrorist attacks. I believe that there is only one solution and only one to making the world a better place, and that solution is education. We as the Generation Y need to be vocal, and we need to speak up about what is going on in the world, and it's in our hands to be able to spot political brainwash all around us and understand the political events that are going on around us. It is you and me who will need to become fair and honest opinion leaders, and leaders in general, or knowledgeable and conscious voters. I often hear from people around me that they don't care about politics, that they just, I just don't care, like whatever. And you might think that you don't have a say or a reach to what happens with the big guys in the government, but you are the one who can give yourself the power of knowledge, and that power of knowledge can lead you and many others around you to a better world. You need to care, you need to pay attention, because if you educate yourself enough to not just focus on the negative hyperbole that is bashing our current political situation, not everything that's happening in the world is about Trump or Clinton or Brexit. There are so many very delicate issues that you can participate in every single day, decisions that are being made about anonymity, insurance, violence against women, LGBT rights, taxation, terrorism, road safety, marijuana, low wages, immigration, all of these issues that you can allow yourself to be part of. You can actually be inspired to make a change, or at least vote for someone who actually does their job to make that change for you. If you're uneducated about who is choosing laws for you, that is your problem. If you're uneducated about where the funds in your community or in your nation are flowing, that is your problem. Because when you make the choice not to use your brain and your voice, really your right to complain becomes invalid. So with that little intro about why you even need to care about politics, I want to guide you through 7 steps that me and my friends came up with of how to generally educate yourself in politics, and I really hope this will help you, because in light of recent events and actually everything that's been going on in 2016, I think it's more and more important to be aware of what world you're living in and know what choices are better or worse to make. And yeah, it's not the sort of video I would normally make, but it's relevant and I hope it can help maybe even one of you. I have a bunch of notes here that I'm going to be using throughout the video to keep it as structured as possible, and the first thing I want to focus on is learn history and learn your government and political systems, as well as definitely religion and religious backgrounds, because everything stands on what happened years ago, 100 years ago, 200 years ago. The way our world is built, the different kinds of systems it went through with empires, colonialism and occupation, all of that has to do with how political events are happening at the time, and that is really important. Understand different government systems, understand what kind of government your own country has, what kind of government systems are there in other states, and also look at what your rights are within that government system. What decisions can you make as a citizen of that government? Just read different historical books, go to your library, read online sources, there's just a ton of them. Pick an event you're interested, say World War I, World War II, look at all the different treaties that have been made, international organizations that have been created in order to keep peace, and how they're functioning right now or why they're not functioning well enough. Second is read the news. I could not stress enough about that. That is the most important part of actually understanding politics. I would recommend to stick to unbiased and neutral sources. The ones I would really recommend are BBC, Al Jazeera. There's a YouTube channel called Young Turks that's really good for just listening to different current affairs, and it's very much informative. Same with Reuters. Those are the ones that I personally tend to read, because together they kind of complement each other and allow you to form your own opinion on issues. They just state the facts and let you think about them yourself. But definitely when reading the news, engage in critical thinking. Don't just take everything that is written for granted. Think of different perspectives. If you're more interested in some particular political event or particular issue, go and read pros of it, cons of it, what different people think about it, different academics. Some will be more leftist, some will be more rightist, so make sure to figure out what exactly you're reading. The truth is always somewhere in the middle. Something that is really important in order to then further analyze and understand the news that you're reading is to engage in political thought and basic political philosophy and different theories by various academics, and to actually learn about that if you are interested. A really easy source is a YouTube channel called The School of Life. They have a whole playlist on political theories that I would really recommend you guys to go through if you're interested to see it from a more academic perspective, because we have to do it in university. I used to study politics in my first 2 years of uni. I know not everybody has that option or is lucky enough to be able to attend university and study politics, but I promise you don't have to do it in order to get the knowledge, because it's available in our information era everywhere online. If you're furthermore interested in what these political theorists are saying, then read some of their actual essays, read academic work. You can get a lot of that on Google Scholar, which has tons of articles by academics and people who study the field. Look into investigative journalism. That allows you a more realistic perspective and more in-depth perspective into specific issues. A really great source, actually one of my favorite when it comes to investigative journalism, is Vice News. They create different sorts of documentaries and really great articles of people actually like going into the fields in depth of the new Al-Qaeda, what was going on in Ukraine 2 years ago, or the issue with the Kurds, or all of these various topics, and they usually dive into it, go to the place, you know, talk to people who are there, and it is really interesting to watch. BBC In Our Time, those are podcasts and they're really good. Were actually recommended to me by one of my friends who's amazing at international relations. Then there's a website called PBS Frontline, Fusion.net, Project Censored, Investigative Project on Terrorism, all of these various things. I'm gonna link everything down below so you can go and click yourself and read on it. There's so many interesting theories and backstories on the elections happening at the moment. The fifth one that I would recommend is a bit more, I guess, sketchy, but not really, and that is to read non-corporate news outlets, and those ones don't include the typical BBC, Reuters, whatever. They're more alternative, I guess, and you have to take them with more of a grain of salt, but I personally read them and I really like them. They're similar to these investigative journalism sites that I mentioned. They just have a lot of controversial issues brought up, say like marijuana and terrorism and various things that you wouldn't really even get in normal news because they just wouldn't be brought up. For these non-corporate news outlets, my favorite one that I've been actually reading and have notifications on my laptop from are The Anti-Media. It's an amazing website. There's also Mint Press News, the Free Thought Project, the Fifth Column. There's so many others. Again, everything will be linked down below. And to me personally, they really do help to shape my opinion on different issues. I find these type of news outlets really useful. The sixth one that I would say is even more alternative of a news source, and that is social media. That is something that will be easiest for you to incorporate into your everyday life because you're always scrolling through Facebook or always scrolling through Instagram, and it's really nice to sometimes, once in a while, get these various Facebook pages or Instagram pages that you follow, stating some kind of an issue or an opinion or some news. Those ones could be considered unreliable, but I personally just see what makes sense to me and what doesn't, and if it doesn't, then I would try to like read on it further. Some Instagrams that I would recommend are Chaka Bars, Two Crow, Seek the Truth. For Facebook, I follow Anonymous on Facebook. They do post a lot of complete bullshit, but they post some really intellectually challenging. And then the seventh and the last tip that tends to be the easiest to include in your everyday life, and also sometimes the most helpful, is discussion. Engage in discussion. Don't just limit yourself to your views. Talk to other people who know something about politics. Like Josh literally just texted me and was like, a good tip for your viewers is to get someone who knows about politics and go have a few drinks with them and just chat to them. There's always people who know more than you, no matter how smart you think you are, and it's always interesting to get other people's opinions. Say, even this guy, I talk to him a lot about politics and I know that he's so smart, and just find people like that around you and engage in conversation, engage in global conversation. So I would give a big tip of trying to find international friends, or if you have classmates from a global background from other countries, talk to them about what they think and ask for their opinions, or try find friends from other countries online, because there's really no better way to improve your worldview on even, for example, the aspect of immigration than to talk to someone who has gone through it and who understands how it is, because it's really easy to stand in your high horse and judge everyone. I don't like this, I don't like that, I don't like that there's a lot of people eating on the money I pay in taxes for my pension. And actually getting to know that other side will help build up your tolerance and just give you a more positive outlook on humanity, on various issues, because we are living in a globalized planet, and no matter how Trump thinks, there is no way that you can stop it, because that's also the only way for us to prosper. Globalization is happening. It's a thing. You can't just build a wall and not let people in, because we're all a unified front. We're all humans living on this planet, no matter where you come from, and you just have to accept it and stop fighting it, because there's no way back at this point. It only can create war and pain and suffering. There used to be times where society was divided, but we have gone past the border of being able to come back to that. And yes, there are benefits to inequality, but really, I think we're not at the stage anymore where that is even an option. So try to become more open-minded towards people who are different to you, and that's going to help you a lot. Other things to add to this discussion pointer, one of them is also ethics. We're all humans, we're all built with some kind of ethical norms, and if something doesn't sound right to you, if a certain politician's policies just don't sound right to you at the core of it, then be against it, because you're not voting for a human. You need to be voting for their policies and for what they can do for others. And I really do believe that deep down we're all good people. Some of us may just be a little bit lost, so just learn to listen to yourself and realize that you alone have the power to have your own opinion. Don't think that you're too stupid for that or too whatever. Just educate yourself and think what is right, and I would say stop following everything that your family says, because at the end of the day, you're the millennial and you're the person who's gonna have to live in this shit-stirred planet after the elections are done and after these decisions are made. So form your own opinion, because you really are smart enough and powerful enough. You're just not letting yourself do it. So that is everything for my pointers. I hope it was somewhat helpful. If I find any more sources / Facebook pages / alternative sources, typical sources, I'll be linking everything down below so that you guys can just easily go there, click on anything you want, and fill yourself with all that knowledge. And I really hope that this video was interesting and educating, and thank you so much for everyone, all of my friends who have helped me make it into a more structured concept. I really do love every single one of you guys, and I am with everyone, which is probably everyone on this planet, who has been more or less directly affected by the recent elections. And yes, they piss me off, but hey, the only thing that we can do at this stage is to prevent things like that from happening in the future, only through knowing better the next time. So share this video with anyone you think would be interested in it, or especially the people who wouldn't be interested in it. And yeah, I wish you endless knowledge and wisdom, and I'm sending you all my love. Thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you in my next one, and goodbye! Morning guys, it's 7:30 a.m. right now.